2 years, it's time to go through my entire designer shoe collection. Shoes are my first love. I would say that they were maybe my little gateway into loving luxury fashion and all of that. I am going to break this down into heels, boots, sandals and sneakers. I'm not entirely sure which order I'm going to try them on in. If any of these are still available, the links will be below or in the shopping button on the screen. Without further ado, let's get into it. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably going to love it here. So head on there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. Or when are we going to rehab? Never. Right. Let's dive into it. Starting off with these Christian Louboutin lilac dolly mules with the crystals. I always feel like Cinderella in these. They're so pretty and very sort of feminine feeling. They do pinch a tad on the toes after a while, but to be honest with you, she's so gorgeous that, you know, we just let it happen. Sometimes you've got to suffer for the vibes. Miu Miu, these are the camellia stilettos with the slingback in this glorious green. How very wicked, very Elphaba of me. And it has this sort of very art deco looking piece at the front there. I really like these at the moment. These are my favourite Miu Miu, and you will see there are a lot in this collection. But I think they look very chic under jeans just peeking out. This is a Louboutin pair that I actually got from a Louboutin sample sale. And my question is, where's my invite this year? Because these are just so fabulous. These are strass, so they have the crystals all over them in a slingback and a crisscross at the front. Actually, I ruined these this summer at my grandpa's 90th, but I sent them to a cobbler and they came back right as rain. I really like these. I just think that they're so fabulous. This is my only pair of Miu Miu shoes that I have with me in the US. These feel very sort of 1950s to me. They have a tiny little snub snout. They're satin, and then you have this cluster of pearls at the front there. It's a slingback, and then it has this odd little heel with a square base. Either way, she's fun. Enter Gucci platforms. And I think platforms might be my favourite category of shoe. I just feel so comfortable and stable in them, and I just love how gargantuan and incredibly tall they make me look and feel. So these ones are very edgy because you have all that great hardware on the platform itself, or the GG sort of webbing, interconnectedness going on. The heel also feels kind of 70s, if you ask me. These are the Attico wedges. The Attico is woefully underrated when it comes to shoe designs. I think that they are brilliant. They're also incredibly comfortable. And they have this great little V cut at the toe, which I think is, you know, just a little bit sexy, a little bit something there. Obviously, these are Python embossed in the little wedge style and incredibly comfortable, easy to throw on, and it just gives a little bit of something. Another Louboutin sample sale purchase. These are my traffic stopping heels because they are so bright. You need your sunglasses. They look like a traffic cone. I especially like doing these with denim because I just think that blue against this acid orange really pops. Even more than the shoes already do. And these are the Kate style, so, you know, you can last a little bit in them, but not too long. These are very deceptive. These are Fendi little ankle strap pumps, and they have FF cutouts in the heel themselves. But these are very uncomfortable. These look like they would be comfy, but there's something about that snout and where it's cut on the foot that is a little bit too high, it's a little bit too tight, and yeah, you are feeling this if you are pounding the pavement, let me tell you. I like to call these my court jester heels. They feel sort of clowny, but in obviously a very chic way. They also look like a pair of socks. These are from Jimmy Choo, and you have this little pearl details going up the front. I especially like these worn under something because otherwise I do think that they cut me off in the mid-calf kind of intensely. Otherwise, though, I think they're very different and interesting. This is one of my few pairs of kitten heels. These are by the shoe designer Amy Crooks, and all of her sort of last shoe collection was inspired by lingerie. That's why they look like a lacy pair of knickers. And then you have this tiny little light blue bow at the front there, and even the strap looks like a bra strap. I think these are really fun and interesting, and, you know, a great foray into the kitten heel game for me. These aren't necessarily a luxury shoe brand, but I want to include these because if you're looking for comfy shoes, this is an excellent brand. It's a new brand. It's called Mira. It's actually created by my old next door neighbour here in New York. So that's very exciting. And I know that she's put a lot of time and effort into basically putting this insane performance foam into the base of the shoe so that you can walk miles in this. You can last all day. I told you there would be more Amina Muaddi. This one, you've got a little crystal toe ring and a PVC strap that goes across all of the toes just to keep everything in there. I went through a phase of buying a lot of Amina Muaddis, me and my mum did. They were the hot shoes at the time, okay, what can I say? And I will always stand by the fact that her shoes are incredibly comfortable with that flare heel. They're also not too high, as you can see. These ones, shamefully, the last time I wore them was February of 2020 on my birthday. And these are, wow, I actually think these might be up there in one of the most uncomfortable pair of shoes I own. That PVC is cutting into me like a knife, let me tell you. Again, not necessarily, a high fashion designer, but Castanier espadrilles are untouched when it comes to comfort yet again. They are incredibly spongy, and they're like a very sort of traditionally made Spanish espadrille brand, and they know what they're doing. So if you're looking for espadrilles for the summer, this is who you should come to. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we've got the D-squared Riri heel. These are embossed leather to look like python, and I didn't do them properly at the back there, so you'll see how it kind of like folds, but you tie them up. This is going to take you a good 15 minutes to put on, and if you have a cat, she is going to absolutely love the lace-up detail, let me tell you. Rihanna wore like an insane pair of these to the Met Gala when it was China Through the Looking Glass, the theme. So if they ring a bell, it might be from that, and they are named after her. These are the Hermes Ease or Easy sandals, EZE. Anyway, and they're just platform versions of the Irans, essentially. If you want a little bit more height on your holiday, maybe you would consider these. I actually forgot about this next pair, which is terrible, because they took over my feed for many, many months. Hence I got them. These are the Mac & Mac double bow heels, and I had the version 1, which basically meant that the straps crisscrossed at the back and the crystals rubbed off. But you know what? I was quick to get them, and this is the price that one pays. I will say, they sparkle like nothing else. I mean, you can just even see from the focusing. This is my only pair of Saint Laurent shoes that I still have. I'm a liar, there's another pair. But these are fantastic. These are the Jody platforms. They're incredibly stable. I think that they look great. They're very sort of sleek, and the pitch isn't too high, so they're really comfy, and you can last all day in them. This is a pair of platforms that really has a special place in my heart. This is Gucci peak Alessandro Michele time. They look nautical. They look like I could make a few bob swinging around a pole. They have these studs going up the T-bar, and then this little tiger head looking menacingly at you from the toe. They are very high, but there is something about this design that really captures me. It's the fact that there's nothing going on at the back and everything going on at the front. A pair of shoes that I match with my mum on. We both have these Aquazuras. I can't remember the name of them, but they are a sort of blush nudie velvet. And then on the platform you have these sort of studs and pearls alternating. Again, another extremely comfortable pair of heels. Oh, the Valentino Tangos. Yeah. You're probably sick of these. I'm not. I actually think that this is an excellent shoe. And whilst we really couldn't get rid of it from our Instagram feeds for months upon months, I still love these. I think there is something so well proportioned about them. They go with everything. They're a black patent. I'm actually glad that I went for, a sort of boring or neutral option for these, because they really do go with everything when all I want is the height. Speaking of height, Alaïa platforms. I mean, this is like the Hermes Easies but on steroids. These are incredibly high, but they're very, very easy to walk in, actually. And again, I really like the fact that I did this black patent. I love wearing these in the summer, especially when it's something really simple, because then the shoes do all the talking. I mean, look, I can even jump in them. They're great, they're cork, they're fun, why not? The last time I did this shoe video, I said that I needed to take these in to get fixed, and guess what? Still haven't done it. There's actually something I find quite endearing about the fact that I haven't fixed these. These are another pair of Miu Miu in a giraffe pony hair, and that dangling little bit of crystals there that detached itself that need to get back on there. Another pair of Miu Miu. This was the collaboration that she did with A$AP Rocky's fashion label, AWGE, Augie. Unclear whether you spell that out or you say it all as a word, but they're very similar to the Barbie pink ones that I wore at my birthday and never wore again. These are by the brand Decori, and these are the Sienna platforms, and there's something very Sabrina Carpenter about these. I love this shade of blue. Look at the fact that there is a crystal ring around the heel as well. It's very sort of comical, but in a still fashion-y way. It doesn't feel too novelty. And from the front, it looks very demure. It's business at the front, party in the back almost. Renee Calvillas, come on, you can't go wrong. These are the Clio heels with the telltale snake around the ankle. These ones I actually got for my bachelorette/hen do, and I wore on that, and I wore at my wedding welcome party thing. This is just an excellent pair of shoes. If you're looking for an evening shoe, don't discount Renee Calvilla. I know that they seem to be the go-to, but they really are for a reason, and they have different designs apart from the usual crystals. These were the original ones I got, which have a slightly more flared heel, so they give a little bit more stability, and this is in more of a champagne colour. Oh, how I wanted these shoes. I went crazy for these shoes, and I've maybe not touched them in the last 4 years because they're a lot. They're also like wearing bricks on your feet that you have to just sort of kick your ankles when you walk. I mean, it does mean that the chances of falling over are slim, but these are extremely novelty. And they have a dangling little Medusa on the ankle. I've not worn these yet, but their time is coming. And listen, the holiday season is upon us. Parties and events are happening. They're coming out. I bought these because I thought that I was going to wear them for my bachelorette/hen do, and instead went with the Renee's, but these are stunning. I actually got these at the outlet for just under $900, and I remember when they retailed they were just under $3,000, so a good deal if you ask me. These are from Bally. These are the only shoes I've ever owned from Bally, and will probably, because they got rid of this creative director, but these are just so cool. It almost has this like mesh sack of sorts with crystals around the toe. It's got a little bit of movement, it sags. There's actually a PVC strip inside sort of holding everything together, but I just thought they were so unique. I never really hear anybody talk about this brand. This is the brand Gina, and I don't know if maybe they're just big in London specifically, but they do crystals, and they do crystals very well. Again, I think this was a outlet special that I got in this black velvet, and then crystals on the platform and on the heel. A good one that's going to go with everything, will work well with tights in the winter as well. The Tom Ford wedges. These are just sculpturally fantastic. So these are in a velvet, a purple velvet. They're very sort of Prince for some reason. That's just what that makes me think of. And then on the inside of the wedge you have this metallic cutout of sorts. It looks like there should be a sphere there that's missing. These are just great, and I love how interesting and unique they are, and I've never seen another pair of shoes like this. These are once again killers when it comes to comfort, but they look phenomenal, and I'm willing to give it up for these. I really am. These are white, high gloss, pointed toe, lucite wedges from Gucci. I got these this year, and I'm glad that I went for the white. The white is never usually something I go for when it comes to shoes, but they did very well this summer, and they're just the proportions, once again, the length of the snout, the fact that that wedge is so severe, perfect. Fendi First sandals. So these are silver, gold and rose gold leather going on there, and then you have the F in the heel. I love how I just said that the Tom Ford ones, I've never seen another shoe like that. I'm clearly a liar, because this is also within that same sort of like, is a wedge, isn't a wedge, is a heel, isn't a heel kind of situation. Another pair by the Attico, these are the Venus pumps, all orange crystals. I like to think of these as my Wizard of Oz shoes. These are like my ruby slippers. Again, very comfortable. I love where the heel sits. I love that V at the front again, and then it's just a lace up around the ankle. Oh, how can you be a shoe lover and not have the Manolo Hangieses in all of their famous glory? These, of course, are Carrie Bradshaw's engagement shoes and the shoes that she gets married in the first film, and I have them in this fuchsia. I believe I have the 100mm version, and I think that these are excellent shoes. I also find these particularly comfortable, so I see why people have these and collect them. Terrible mistake of a purchase for me. These are the Minamwadi Brita heels, and they are all made from one piece of plastic, and boy do they feel it. Putting these on, I was just like, oh, these are uncomfortable, especially where these straps are attached to the base, digging into the back of your foot. So yeah, this wasn't a great decision from me. On the other hand, an excellent decision, the Prada Flame heels. These were the re-edition of the 2012 pair that they did. Gosh, I think these came out in 2017, and I am obsessed with these. They look like Hot Wheels. These are so novelty and fun, but very sort of high fashion-y. They're not the most comfortable, but listen, you're willing to give that up for a look this good. My only pair of Gianvito Rossi pumps. These are in a leopard, like a leopard suede almost like a neutral pump to me. If I'm just like, I want a little bit of something, but I don't want a contrasting colour, and I want it to go with everything, and I need it to be a certain heel height, then these tend to be my go-to. These are maybe the coolest pair of shoes I own, even though they're a kitten heel, and you know how I feel about a kitten heel. These are one-of-one custom Louboutin trash mules. So my Bergdorf sales associate put me forward for this opportunity where basically you get given a load of scraps and you find scraps of your own to decorate the toe caps of your own shoes. And it got sent away and I forgot about it. And 9 months later, the same amount of time it would take to make a baby, these babies arrived. And they are so cool. I love the fact that I did each foot very differently and went for completely different colours. They are so unique and it's such a special thing to have. These little sensible Chanel sandals that came out in, I think, 2021, spring-summer 2021. These were the shoe of the season. This was the highest heel height I could get, even though I wanted the taller version. But I'm glad that I have something a little bit more appropriate to meet the parents, as it were. I also love the fact that these are just logo mania to the max. It's very me. Another pair of René Cavillas, but this time we have a platform. You can tell I have a thing for crystal shoes. I'm a magpie. I love the sparkles. I also love the fact that René Cavillas, the underside of the shoe, is glittery as well. Amina Muadi's little mules. I think these are the Gilda mules in blue glitter with blue crystals across the strap. They look great with denim. There's not really much else to say about those ones. These are lace-up lilac Amina Muadis. I really like these. I like the fact of how they sort of like applied the crystals on the strap. It looks great. These are comfortable, easy. I'll give her props for these. I have not worn these shoes since 2018 when I went to Miami and I went clubbing with my mother. Shout out to Live Nightclub. It was an interesting time. Anyway, these are the Cassie Flora platforms. They are cobalt blue. And I don't know why I'm sort of trashing them, because these are kind of fabulous and I need to remember that they exist and bring them back out. My Suede Amin Wadi Begum slingbacks with the starburst, the telltale starburst. These are the Decori mules and I love these. These are the Lust mules and these are in this great sort of metallic apple green. I love the flare of the heel there. It's interesting. These are also very comfortable, and considering that they are mules, they really do stay on the foot. Similar, but different. The Amina Muadi mules with all crystals. I swear there's not many Amina Muadis to go, or this might be the last pair. Back to Decori. These were actually very kindly gifted to me by the brand because basically I would shout about them from the rooftops and they sent me this as a lovely thank you. So it has this beautiful sort of gradient at the front done in crystals. And again, I love these. I think that they're such a great brand, really unique and interesting pieces. Gucci platform loafers. They have embossed GG webbing throughout, and then you have the horse bit. These feel very sort of librarian-y, very studious. These are fun. They're interesting. I know Taylor Swift was recently spotted out with them. And again, very easy to walk in. Another fun story. Why do all my fun shoe stories happen with Louboutin? So I waited in line for about 3 hours at Saks to have Mr. Louboutin himself sign my shoe. So on the right heel there, you can see it says to Cassie with $2 signs. I think it says with love, C. Louboutin. So there we go. That's a fun little story. And very cherished shoes. I wore these on my 30th birthday, and I have a feeling I haven't worn them since. But this one, I can justify doing that because they're special now. This is my most recent shoe purchase, the Alexander McQueen lace boots. I have yet to wear these out. I'm so excited to, and I just think that these are so sort of Victorian, mysterious, vampire-y in a really fabulous way. I love this little lace frill it's got going on at the back. It almost looks like wings. They're extremely comfortable. It's all mesh on the inside so that everything keeps its structure. Another pair of Alexander McQueen boots, but these ones I stole from my mother, who is generally half a size to a whole size smaller than me, and by the grace of God these fit. I find these so cool. I have a feeling these were around like 2011, and they have these cutouts and then buckles on either side of each shoe, and they go with so much more than you would think. Anytime you want a black pump, this can also be subbed in, and it just gives such an edgy edge. This is an Alexander McQueen pair of boots that really means something to me. These are 2009. I got these on eBay, and this was like Lady Gaga Bad Romance. That's what they reminded me of. I used to look at these around that time and really want them. So I got these this year, and they are just crazy. Possibly maybe my highest shoes. I know that sounds stupid because I have platforms, but these are very, very tall. When I wore them out, I got lots of compliments on them because how can you not walk past this and say something? Now we're going into some flats. These are arguably my favorite slides for, when I'm on holiday and things like that. My dad bought these for me at the airport back when we used to get VAT off at Heathrow. And I think it was for my 15th birthday, and I've cherished them ever since. He did an excellent job picking those. And then welcome the Irans. I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on these. I've got a silver metallic pair. I have an orange suede pair that are contrasting to the bottom of the shoe, which is light blue. And then I also do have a teddy version in this mint green that is very cozy, and I wear these when I'm really, really not feeling going outside, and then I'm just like, do you know what? I want to feel like I'm at home, and so I put these on. A very kind of un-me purchase, but I absolutely love these. I bought these a few months ago. These are the Gucci crystal loafers in mesh. They did this in black with the crystals, as well as denim with the crystals, and I just think these are brilliant. I love them peeking out of jeans. Obviously you have that slide aspect that feels very cozy and casual, and at the moment, as far as I'm aware, I don't think any of the crystals have fallen off, which is great because I'm not all that precious with them. These are an old pair of Chanel trainers, white with the blue kind of sole and detailing at the back. This was also when they first started introducing this style, and they put the full Chanel at the back of the shoe. Now they only have chat on one shoe and Nell on the other. I don't know who made that decision, but since doing this video I've rediscovered these and have worn them a lot since. They're incredibly comfortable because they're terry cloth lined. These are fantastic. I will always love these, and I know that people are like over the Gucci sneakers because we saw so much of them for so long. The platform crystal version, apologies, she's excellent, she really is. There is something so ostentatious and in your face about wearing like a crystal shoe during the day, and I love it. I love the kind of statement that brings, and again, to such a casual look, and then you just have this platform of crystals. It's incredible. These are a platform Chanel sneaker in black suede even. I was going to say velvet. Very comfy, very easy. These tend to come out every autumn, winter for me. I always feel like these are child's trainers in the best way. Like, this is a pair of trainers that a child would gravitate towards because it's fully crystalled once again. And again, I love wearing these casually with jeans or with, you know, something very relaxed, and then you've just got all this party going on. I feel like they're not even sparkling that much on camera. These are fully crystalled. These are from Amiri. I didn't even tell you that. And they are extremely comfortable. Didn't need a single second of wearing in. Would highly recommend. Arguably my most worn pair of sneakers this year and last year. I got these last year. These are the Gucci 1977 tennis slip-on sneakers, and they have like a little bit of a platform. They've changed the design since these have come out, but this is absolutely excellent. If you're looking for like a designer version of Vans, something slip-on with a bit of a logo, those are the ones. This is my second pair of Louboutin trainer sneakers, and this is the Takashi Murakami version that I went absolutely mental for earlier this year and tracked down, and thanks to an excellent subscriber got them into my hands. Obviously you've got that very telltale Murakami multicolour monogram all over the shoes. Otherwise they are white, and then they have the number 54 on the back. Why? Because Louboutin was debuted or was created in 1854. And these are my original pair, the white and sort of grey with yellow. I will shout about these shoes until the cows come home. I find them incredibly comfortable. They have a great sort of balance of something a little bit chunkier, but then they're not all that chunky, and I just really like them. A pair of shoes I haven't worn in a long time, but I will never, never, never get rid of. These, I can't even remember when I think these were 2018. I called up every Chanel in London every day for weeks to make sure I got these shoes when they came out. I was that obsessed with them. They had the orange, they also had a blue and a pink. And whilst I don't necessarily do high tops anymore, these are just great. Like, Chanel doesn't make stuff like this anymore, clearly. I mean, look at this. When are you going to get an acid orange pair of high tops from Chanel? Another excellent, extremely comfortable pair of Chanel trainers. Cannot remember what these are called, but here they are. They make them now in different colours every season, but obviously I just have the original black. These are my most worn pair of Chanel trainers. I wear these all the time. These are rivaling my Gucci's with my most worn sneakers. They are just a beige, boring, low-top pair. I don't know what else to tell you. I got these at their Hamptons shop a couple of years ago. If you're looking for a comfortable pair of designer sneakers, the off-white out-of-office sneakers are really, really great. These are on the chunkier side, so keep that in mind in terms of style, but you can walk all day 20,000 steps and not feel it in these shoes at all. I like the fact that they say for walking down the side on mine. I think the other pairs have out of office. I love these shoes, but I kind of ruined them by taking them to a leather repair shop. This is the Axel Arigato Mulberry collaboration shoe, and I'm obsessed with this style of shoe. But the back of the shoe started to wear out because of how much I wore it, and I took it to a leather repair shop and they replaced it with leather, and basically it's cut out some of the space in the shoe, so now they're too tight. These are my Chanel Western ankle boots. I bought these in Paris last year. Was I in Paris last year? I think so. We've had our trials and tribulations. They had to be resold because there was absolutely no grip and I was about to go flying in them. But I'm giving them more of a chance this year. I've already worn them once this season, and I think that we could become friends again. These I just brought back from the UK, and I'm kind of obsessed with like the emo grunge vibe of these. These are from Cassie, and they are sort of ankle boots that have a fold over. They're sort of slouchy. They make me feel like I should be listening to Paramore. Shout out to Hayley Williams. These with a legging and something oversized and, you know, an attitude in your eye. And I think that this is just the vibe of them. They remind me of like the Isabel Marant trainer wedges. These are a great pair of René Caovilla sort of winter boots that I got during a René Caovilla sample sale. And they have this sort of glittery rope that ties up the shoe. They are completely shearling lined, so as soon as it gets very chilly, these are the shoes that go straight on. My tried and trues. Oh, these are my girls. The René Caovilla Clio boot. I will go to my grave shouting from the rooftop about how incredible this boot is. Not a single crystal has come off, and I have pounded the pavement with a capital P in these shoes. I have stomped around and had them caught on things and everything else. I think they look very sleek. I think they look stylish. They look great with leggings or a trouser or with a skirt, and I think that they're fantastic. Another René Caovilla sample sale find, sexy little ankle boots with a stiletto heel and a crystal platform. These are the hardest shoes I have in my collection to get off. These are the ones that I need help from knee to weasel off my foot. The Timberland Jimmy Choo collaboration Timberlands. I am obsessed with these, and especially being in New York, like the unofficial New York uniform is a pair of Timberlands, it seems, and I am obsessed with these. You have that crystal trim around the back of the shoe. The little sort of eyelets going up also have crystals, and there's crystals all around the shoe as well. I love these, and I just think they're very cool. Oh, my Prada ankle boots. These are great. They make me feel powerful and like I should be in some sort of action film. I feel very Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider in these. They obviously have an orange pop because clearly I've got a thing for a bright orange. Extremely comfortable, look great, a great pair of shoes. I've had these for years. My Chanel's. Because I have quite hefty calves, it is a snug fit. But do you want to know what? They do the job, and I love bringing these out when it is raining and I don't need to worry and I can stomp about. I mean, they're a sodding pair of wellies and they've just got a CC logo front and centre, so what more is there to say? I feel like you are either an Uggs person or a moon boot person, and I'm a moon boot girl through and through. I think that there is something so ridiculous about them, but they're also really cute looking on anybody. I'm considering getting a low pair as well for this winter, but of course I had to get gold because I love a statement, and I love doing these with leggings and a puffer coat in the winter, and they just feel very cozy. These are my Paris, Texas rainbow fish boots. Did you ever read that as a child, the rainbow fish? Anyway, it looks exactly like this pair of boots. They are pre-scrunched, and they're a party. You know, they're a New Year's Eve. They're a night on the town. I think the last time I wore these, it was to a Studio 54 themed event. So apparently that's my interpretation. But Paris, Texas is another excellent shoe brand. This next pair is by them as well. Now, these are not pre-scrunched, but as I said, I've got sizable calves, so this is about as high as they will get. And they've got a little bit more of a stable block heel there, but great pair of boots. My mum is very annoyed with me about these boots because she paid full price for them and I paid 10% of the price she paid because they were 90% off at Bicester Village. So there we go. These are these over-the-knee Gucci boots. I squatted down there to demonstrate that these are over the knee, and you can scrunch them down or you can have them go higher up so that they do feel more over the knee. They're a very sensible heel. They're just very sort of Mary J. Blige fabulous. Another outlet find, these are my last pair of Saint Laurent, and they are a velvet over-the-knee boot. I love this, especially disappearing under something. I love the shape of the toe and the heel. Angelica wants me to let her out here, so there we go. I think that's the end of her cameos during this video. But these are very sleek and sexy looking. I like these going under skirts specifically. And finally, we have my Fendi Scooby-Doo boots, because I think that Daphne from Scooby-Doo would look phenomenal in these. They are a stretch leather, so even though, once again, I've got sizable calves, we sneak in there with these because they're stretchy. They have a huge bulbous wedge heel. They feel very sort of futuristic, but also somewhat kind of 60s. And I just think that they're so fun and also extremely comfortable. There you go, guys. I hope that you enjoyed my luxury shoe collection. Let me know which was your favourite pair in the comments. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.